Well, after working in the hair industry for nearly a decade, TK Prentice-Cupid noticed a huge gap that exists in mainstream salons. There is a lack of education on how to style and care for Black hair. In response, TK created her own curriculum called Textured Hair EDU, and it runs workshops teaching stylists how to work with curly and coily hair. And TK joins us this morning. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Me. Thank you.
This is an important conversation to have, I think, right across the board. It has affected me personally over my life. But I want to talk to you about, you've seen, how the industry has changed over the years. But, there's a lot of stylists who don't know how to work with kinky or coily hair. And there's a lack of education. Where does that come from?
I'm always the type of person that says it's based on the system, and people with curls and afros aren't fully represented in the system. So that's where that gap comes from. A lot of the stylists that take my trainings have never learned how to work with curly hair. They were never taught. And usually the way that's been taught is experimentation or actually getting your hands in curls to learn what it needs. So me and my team work really hard to make sure we're giving everyone the tools that they need to work best with the hair, and it doesn't have to require any guesswork. So, yeah, that's pretty much our way of approaching things, and it's been really successful so far, so I'm thankful.
And why is it problematic for the hair industry as a whole to have this gap? I mean, we were talking before we came on camera. I've had my own experiences. I'm fortunate my sister is a hairstylist, but when I've lived away from home, I have had some really challenging experiences. So why is this problematic kind of as a whole? And what have you noticed so far with the shift hopefully taking place?
Right. So as a whole, it's problematic because people like yourself who have curly hair looking to get services done don't always have the spaces to go to. Luckily, living in the city of Toronto, it's a lot more diverse than the mainstream of Canada, I would say. However, it's a lot of the salons that exist here can be fully booked, not as accessible. So it makes things challenging for people with curls. And for the industry as a whole, I feel like things are starting to slowly change, but still the impact that's needed to really make a shift hasn't really happened yet.
The gaps that exist, how does that affect people that you've spoken to that have kinky or coily or curly hair? I know, for myself, and I can only speak to my own experience, it is challenging when you walk in somewhere and there's verbiage used like your hair is wild or it's crazy, and it makes you feel a little subconscious. But what has been your experience when it comes to talking to people that have different textured hair?
Right. So to be very honest, like a lot of people with textured hair, when they come to my chair, they're not always trusting right away. And that's just, unfortunately, the repercussions of this. People with curls and coils don't know where a safe place is to go to for their crowns, and they don't know that they're gonna be in the right hands, right? So I do have to prove myself every time with a new client to reassure them that they're in a safe place. And from the beginning, like, just understanding when you're a stylist that textured hair, that's the term we use for curls and coils, but textured hair requires extra time to do. So you have to factor that into your services, and making sure that you're detangling, making sure that you're not making the client feel rushed. And that will really help to heal their trauma, because it would be unfortunate if they left your chair with more trauma.
Textured Hair EDU is doing some amazing work. And talk to me about how you guys are working to solve this problem, because there is a light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the work that you're doing.
Yes. So right now, our goal is to open a school. It may take us time to get there, but for now, we're doing workshops and seminars to help train people. We do have a workshop coming up next month. It's gonna teach braids and twists. So anybody that wants to learn how to cornrow, they can go there. We also do cutting classes and things like that, and speaking engagements. We have one coming up in August for the Toronto Curly Girl Meetup. So different things like that. Definitely stay connected with us. We have something for you for sure.
Well, TK, you are doing fantastic work. I appreciate you. I know
Thanks.
a lot of people out there watching who have textured and curly hair really appreciate the work you're doing as well.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.